All right, welcome everybody. This is going to be my very first PSA order submission reveal, and let me tell you, when I started selling sports cards a couple months ago, about 3 months ago, I never would have guessed that my very first order coming back was going to be vintage Star Wars cards. But here we are. I went into the hobby and business of buying and selling cards with the sole purpose of buying and selling sports cards, and I ended up finding a really good deal on some Star Wars cards and decided to send them in for grading rather than flipping them raw just to see how it went. So all in all, this order went into PSA about a month after my very first sports card submission. So I sent it to PSA on the 14th of March is when I actually handed it over to the post office. 3 days later, the post office delivered those to PSA. Took another 5 days before they put it into the queue, so to speak. The first step of grading is 5 days is what it took. Then research and ID took 4 days. Grading took 5 days only. Took 9 days to get through assembly. And then it took 1 day to get through QA check 1, 6 days to get through QA check 2, and then it took 1 day to ship back to me. So all in all, it took 5.5 weeks from door to door to get from my house to PSA through grading and back to my house. So just to give you guys an idea, that's how long this vintage non-sports order went. Now, my sports order, the very first one I sent in, again, about a month ahead of this one, just finished the grading phase 2 days ago. So they're still going through assembly on that one. Hoping in a couple weeks I'll get it back on my door here at least. So anyways, without further ado, let's get into the PSA order. So first off, I sent 22 cards in. I did get 2 cards that came back as min size, and I kind of knew when I was sending them in that they might be min sized. These are Wonder Bread cards, and I don't know a ton about them, but from what I've seen, it sounds like it's pretty common for them to have been cut inconsistently. So I don't necessarily think they were trimmed. They're not a ton smaller than the other cards, but nonetheless, we have a Stormtrooper card that came back as min size, and then an R2-D2 that came back min size. Funny thing is, it originally made it through grading, I believe, because the images that they give you to start, the high resolution images once they complete grading that they give you, both of them were actually in PSA 7 slabs. So sometime going through QA check 1 or QA check 2, whoever was reviewing them must have said, nope, let's crack these out. They're too small. Get them out of here. So found it interesting that they made it through the PSA grading, the initial grading, just fine. But anyways, like I said, they were both in PSA slabs, but again, they did not make it here. Every single one of these cards I sent in thinking 7 or 8. 7 was my best guess. 8 was the hope. This is the very first, like I said, time I've sent in cards. I'm going to reveal them in order of how I sent them out. So first, we've got a Chewbacca card. Again, I guessed a 7 with a hope of an 8, and this one came back a 7. Obviously, centering's not perfect, but I'm happy with a 7. I was sent in everything assuming 7 as my guess, hoping for 8s. Next, we've got a Darth Vader. This one came back a 6. So that one kind of hurt a little bit. I will say, I'm going to go back and check my video that I recorded when I was sent these out, but there's a little nick down here that the camera's not picking up, but I don't remember seeing that nick when I sent it, so May have been something that got nicked by PSA. I'm not sure. But, oh well. Not a super crazy expensive card. I just hope for better. So, now we got an R2-D2. Again, I guess a 7. Hope of an 8. And this one came back 8. So we got a 6, a 7, and an 8 to start. I did, obviously, like I said, look at grades since I saw the preview cards. But here's another C3PO this time. This one came back a 7. So next one is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Unfortunately, that one came back a 6. I'm guessing it's a 6 because the centering left to right is not great, and this one actually has a nicked corner. So that one makes sense that it's a 6. I do remember that one being that condition when I sent it out. Next, we've got the Millennium Falcon. This one came back an 8. So we got 2 6s, 2 7s, and 2 8s to start. Next, we've got Jawas. This one is the best centered one that I sent in, probably. Really nicely centered all the way around. That one's an 8. And next we have a Star Destroyer. Cool card. It should be oriented that way, but obviously with the card, it's like that. That one was a 7. Honestly, this one's probably worse looking than that Darth Vader that they gave a 6 to, but I'll take a 7. Next, we got a Han Solo. This one is left and right centering is good, top to bottom not. This one came back a 6. So far, we have 3 6s, 3 7s, and 3 8s. We have another Han Solo. Again, I guess 7 or 8 on every single card, so I'm not going to tell you my pre-grade on every card, but this one came back a 7. This one's really sharp. I'm guessing the centering is what held it to a 7. Next, we have a Chewbacca. Overall, pretty darn good centering. One tiny nick on the corner, but still got an 8. I'm guessing the centering is what saved that one and kept it as an 8. We have another Chewbacca. And this one has really nice centering. Not quite as good as that other one we saw before, the Jawas, but still nice. And this one is the first 9. Next, we've got a Princess Leia. This one I'm a little bit surprised by, to be honest with you. It's in some of the cleanest condition of all the cards. The corners are perfect, edges are perfect, surface is perfect. Centering wasn't great, so I was surprised when I saw it got a 9. I'll take it, though. Happy with all the 9s. Have a pretty nicely centered R2-D2 on this one. This one was an 8. And next we've got a Tusken Raiders. Really sharp centering again on this one. This one got an 8. And next we've got another Jawa card. That one got a 7. Only a few cards left. We got a Star Destroyer here. Star Destroyer, unfortunately, got a 5 on this one. And this is another one that I noticed a crease in here. And there's no way I missed this bad of a crease before I sent it in. So I think those are 2 cards that got damaged by PSA. Is the Darth Vader and the Star Destroyer. There's no way I missed that, because I went over these things with, I've got a 10 power large magnifier and a bright light. I looked at every one of these. There's no way I missed that. So I think there's two cards that got damaged. Next, we have an X-Wing. That one got an 8. And we've got a Grand Moff Tarkin. That one got a 9. And last but not least, we've got a Darth Vader, and this one got an 8. So overall, to be quite honest, did better than I was kind of expecting from all the horror stories I've heard about PSA's grading. I will say I do think those 2 cards got damaged by PSA. They're small enough dollar cards. I'm probably not even going to bother putting in a claim because I'm in the middle of another high dollar card that they damaged, and it's kind of a pain to deal with, a claim process. So for what the cards are worth, I don't think it's worth it, but we'll see. Maybe I'll change my mind. So overall, we got 1 5, we got 3 6s, 5 7s, 6 7 8 8s, and 3 9s. So I will take that. All of these cards are going to be up for sale, so keep an eye out on eBay. Eventually they may make it to eBay. I'm actually starting to stream on Whatnot right now, so a couple days from now I have set aside a buy it now only stream on Whatnot where I'm going to try selling these first, and if I don't get much traction, these will all be heading over to eBay after that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I don't think I'm ever going to be patient enough to wait for cards to show up before looking at their grade, so they're never going to be blind reveals for me, but hopefully it's still enjoyable for you guys in the future. All my other orders are sports orders coming back, so if you're looking for sports cards, bear with me. They will come. There are going to be a lot of them coming shortly. Like I said, I wasn't expecting to buy a bunch of Star Wars cards, but I got a good price and decided to send them in. So if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. And until next time, God bless.